In this video, I'm going to show you how to customize your simple store using the options available in the default theme for Storefront, which is obviously the theme for WooCommerce. Okay, so when you're logged into your WordPress dashboard and you're looking at the website, you'll see that up on the black bar at the top here, there's an item called Customize. And if you click on that item, it will do some weird little things and it'll show you a whole lot of stuff on the left hand side here, and it will show you what you're actually doing on the right hand side. So there are some things that you can change and there are some things that you would need to stay the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through a few of these items. I'm not going to go through everything in great detail, but once you see what I'm doing, you'll get an idea as to what exactly you can do and the kind of freedom that you'll have to change your simple store. Right, so the first item that I'm looking at is what we call site identity. And basically this is the logo and the site title and the tagline. If you were running the site without a logo, you would basically have the site title in there and the tagline. So if I was to remove this logo, and you'll see what happens now is if I hit publish, the logo is gone. And if I go out of customization, you'll see that simple stores, which is just basic text and the tagline, is appearing over there. Obviously that's not what I want to do, so I'm going to go back to site identity and I'm going to put my logo back. And I think it was this one here. So I'm going to have a look. That's quite a large image. Maybe it wasn't that one, it was probably that one. Might have been this one. Doesn't really matter, you can choose any one. So let's choose this one. Okay, you now have an option to crop it. I'm not going to crop this, so I'm going to skip that. And I'm now going to hit publish. And there we go, I've changed the logo. Okay, let's move on. The next item that you can change is the header. Now the header is pretty much everything that you see in this top section over here. So you can, if you want, add a new image to the background here. I would avoid doing this because if you do that, you're going to make this top section look very, very busy and could be a little bit off-putting to people who are coming to buy stuff at your website. So I tend to encourage people to stick with the clean white look, which is what we find on a lot of online commerce stores. You can change the background colors. So if you wanted to change the background color to red, you do that and you'll see that's what it's going to do. It's going to change it to red, and that looks kind of funky, but I prefer the white. Okay, the text color can also be changed. So if you had any text, if we were looking at the text that was there prior to me replacing the logo, it would change to whatever color you select here, and the same for any links that you have in the heading area. Okay, the next item that we're going to talk about is the background. The background is kind of everything that you see on the page here. So that background color is currently set to white. If I was to set it to this awful mustard color, that's what it would look like. Okay, so you have the option of changing that color. You can also put an image in as well. As I mentioned before, I would recommend sticking with the white. Typography is basically the color of the headings that you'll find in the WordPress setup. So everything that's an H1 or an H2 or H3, 4, 5, etc., you would be able to change that coloring here. So if we were to look at that, making that a red, there is what it's going to change. It's not changed those colors there. Okay, let's go back to the default, which is not quite black, but almost black. The other ones on here are kind of the same thing. So the accent color is the link that is currently active, I believe. Might not be 100% sure on that one. Buttons. If there were any buttons on your page, like these ones over here, you can then change the color of those buttons. So if I wanted to make them green, they are now green. You can also use the slider over here to adjust the intensity of the green. Basically makes it almost transparent. Or you can stick with the tried and trusted default gray. The text color is obviously the text color within the button, so you can change that too. And if you wanted to make that text color white, let's try this. Okay, and then we'll then go back to the background color here, and let's try and go for a little bit of a darker gray. So there you go. You've now changed the color of the buttons and the text that was on the buttons. I kind of like that, so I'm going to leave that. Alternate button text color. Not entirely sure what that is, but you can play with it and see what it does. I think it has something to do with a different kind of button that maybe appears in a different part of the website. Beg your pardon. Okay. The layout. This really only has to do with the blog, and if you have a sidebar on a page, you would be able to say which side of the page you want that sidebar to appear. Obviously, we're not fiddling around with the blogs at this stage of our store development, so I'm going to leave that off. Menus. We spoke about menus in another video, which I will link to if you haven't already watched. But this is the same thing that we covered in that menu. So you've got your different menu items over here. This is just a different area that you can do the same things with. Widgets. Widgets are, again, a thing that is generally used to be putting information into the sidebar of your blog posts, but this theme also allows you to have widgets in the footers. So you can have up to four footer widgets, and those will appear down here. So let's do something here now, and I'm going to add a widget. And you've got a whole host of things that you can put in here. So let's put in a list of the store's products. I think that's going to look a little bit weird, but we'll try it. You can specify up to 5 products. You can then filter that down to featured products or on sale products. You can order them by date, price, random, or the sale. So if, for example, you had a lot of sales of a particular item, you'd want to show that one first. You could then change these filters around like that, and you can hide free products or show any hidden products there. So let's click on done, and there is that widget. So yeah, I was right, it does look a little strange, but let's add a second widget. So we're now going to column number 2. We're going to add another widget in there. And I'm going to maybe, let's just say, put, what can we put in there? Some arbitrary text. This could be useful. So we're going to call this arbitrary text. And this is arbitrary text. Done. And there you see it has appeared. You'll also notice that there is a little pencil icon over here, so you can, once you've finished doing all of this, go straight in there and edit it again just by clicking that pencil or that one, and that will take you back to where you need to go. Okay. Homepage settings. The homepage settings are things that will affect what appears on the homepage of your website. So when somebody goes to your homepage, which would be the part that appears automatically at the end of your URL, so assuming that nothing else is there, what will they see? At this stage, they're seeing the homepage, which is the page that WooCommerce has actually set up. So you would select that over there. If you wanted it to be a different page, you would set it up that way. So you would say shop would be the home page, or if you had something else that you wanted to put there, for now I'm going to leave that to home page, which has got all the stuff that I need on my home page. Posts page relates to the blog, which, as again I'll say, we are not going to be looking at in this video. Okay, let's have a look at the options available to customize WooCommerce itself. If we click into there, we will see that the first item that pops up here is the thing called Store Notice. That is basically this little blue bar at the bottom of the screen. If you had a message that you want to appear throughout the website, so no matter what page a person clicks on, you'll see that this little sticky note is appearing at the bottom of every page. This is where you're going to set that up. And it's really as straightforward as just typing what you want to say into the box, ticking on the Enable Store Notice, and hitting the Publish button. If I switch that off now, you'll see that it disappears entirely, and then put it on. This is quite useful, especially if you maybe are running a sale, or if you have some important information that you need to give to your customer. That's a nice place to go and put that information in. The next item on here is the product catalog. The product catalog is kind of what people are going to see when they go into your shop page, not the home page, the shop page. So on the shop page at the moment, we are only showing products, but if we wanted to show categories of products, we could show them by just changing that item over there. And you'll see that now when you go into the shop page, we are looking at clothing and whatever this category is over here. So if you click into there now you have your products. So this is going to require a little bit of planning from you on how many product categories you want to have in your shop, and then also whether you want to have subcategories within those product categories. Try and make it as easy as possible for your customers. I would say leave that as a category if you have quite a few categories in your store. Don't go for this one, which is to show categories and products, because that can get quite confusing. So it's got categories in there as well as products. Okay, so leave that. Under category display, it asks you what to choose, or choose what to display on product category pages. So when you're looking at a product category page, do you show subcategories, or do you show subcategories and products, or do you just show products? So there again, that comes back to your planning and in terms of how many product categories you want to have. The default product sorting would be straightforward. How do you want to sort the products as they appear on your page? How many products would you like to show per row? At the moment, we've got 3 on a row there. And how many rows do you want to show on a page? And we are showing 4. I think the only reason that we haven't gone to a 5th row is because we've run out of products in the demo. But let's just say, for instance, you wanted to show 4 rows or 4 products in a row. You'll notice now that we're down to 3 rows because we only have, 11 products in this category. So you can change that now. You need to just be a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit clever about this, because you don't want to show too much, but at the same time you don't want to have too much pagination going on. When I speak of pagination, I'm talking about if you had, for example, very few products showing per page, but you had a lot of pages that people had to go through, that could become a little annoying. So you'll see now that I've changed that to 2 items per row, and I've only got 3 rows, but now I have a second page. And as you would know, people when searching for stuff very seldom like to go to page 2. The downside of having too much showing on your front page is that that could tax the server and it slows it down a little bit. Depends on how many products you're showing. Generally, I would say, when you're looking at something in the dozens, it's not going to be too much of an impact speed-wise. Okay, product page. This product page is what you would see on the page when you're looking at any specific product. So right now we've got this long sleeve t-shirt showing up here, and that sticky add to cart is what happens when you're scrolling the page. That stays at the top. It's like a sticky. So you can switch that on and off. I would just leave it on. Product pagination displays next and previous links on product pages. That is these little guys over here. So if you wanted to switch that off, You could just switch it off by unchecking that box there, and then they're gone. I would leave them on. Product images. When I added the custom product, or in the video that I did on adding your own products to the shop, you'll notice that, let's just go to the home page, it cropped that image. And if you don't like that, you can then set that to be uncropped, and you'll see that it shows the whole image in there. The problem that now arises after having done that is that we don't have alignment with our buttons, and that can be a little bit confusing for somebody who's coming to your store. You want to see everything nicely lined up. So if you're going to do it on one product, do it on all of the products, and try to keep your product photography as uniform as possible. You can also specify custom cropping, 4:3 or whatever you want to do. You do it in there. I'm going to leave this as 1:1, which is square. Okay. And you can also customize your checkout page. On the checkout page, you have a few fields that you can make optional, or you can make them required, or you can hide them. That's where you would do that. And down at the bottom here, the privacy policy page and the terms and conditions page, you just decide, or you select what page in your WordPress list of pages you want that link to go to. At the moment, I don't have a terms and conditions page set up, so there's nothing over there. Once I create that page, it will appear in that list. And then privacy policy, this text over here is what appears over there. So you can change that to whatever you want it to read. And that is pretty much it as far as the WooCommerce customization goes. Do not worry about this additional CSS or this More tab. The More tab is really just another link through to the WooCommerce store, which is where they would sell you all the extensions that you might want to buy at some point. And CSS is where hacks like me make some changes to various things on the pages. So don't worry about that. Very important, once you've done all your customizations and you've changed whatever you wanted to change, you must click on the publish button. And what that does is it then publishes everything that you've changed. And you can then click out of this customization section, and whatever you've changed is now live on your site. And that's about it. If you guys have any questions about what I've discussed, please just put them in the comments below, and I will answer you as best I can. I'll see you in the next video.